My best friend became my daughter's godmother, and months later showed up at court demanding custody. I asked my best friend Lily to be my daughter Jenna's godmother the week after I came home from the hospital. We were inseparable since college. I trusted her more than anyone. She showed up at every appointment, bought a diaper bag that matched mine, and cried at the baby shower like it was her own kid. Then she started offering to babysit twice a week. I said yes because I was exhausted and she was family to me. Things started feeling off when she began correcting me in front of other people. She'd say I shouldn't feed Jenna that brand, or that my schedule was too chaotic for a baby. It embarrassed me, but I figured she was trying to help. A month later, she told me she wanted to spend more nights with us, so Jenna would bond with her. I said okay, once a week. Then she started showing up unannounced. I found her in the nursery folding baby clothes at 10 p.m. while I was at work overnight. She said she couldn't sleep and wanted to check on Jenna. My mother shrugged and told me Lily was just being supportive. I didn't say anything. Then my neighbor told me she saw Lily carrying Jenna down the block alone once. I had no idea. Lily said she was just stepping out for air and Jenna fell asleep in the stroller. Things got worse the week I went back to work full-time. Lily sent a message that I couldn't ignore. She said Jenna was crying when she picked her up from my neighbors after a shift. She said I was risking my child's well-being. I was furious. I texted back that I had put a guard in place. Fed schedules, pediatrician, on speed dial. She replied with a photo of Jenna looking teary-eyed. The photo was time-stamped during my night shift. I asked for the raw image. She sent it. The metadata matched the time, she said. I trusted Lily, so I accepted that Jenna had been upset and moved on. Then she started bringing up my relationship with my ex in casual conversation and hinting that I might be overwhelmed. One afternoon, she asked my mom if Jenna could sleep over more often because I seemed tired and distracted. My mom, who loved Lily, agreed. She said maybe I should let someone else help. Lily's help felt like a lifeline, even if it prickled me sometimes. 2 months in, my father called and asked me if I was okay. He just had coffee with Lily, and she mentioned how stressed I looked, how maybe a legal guardian would be better if things got worse. It sounded like a casual concern, but it felt like she was planting ideas. Then I found something that changed everything. I opened an envelope on a rainy Tuesday, and out fell a printed packet titled Emergency Custody Petition. My hands went numb. The petitioner was Lily. The child in question was Jenna. I called my lawyer, but my lawyer told me to come in and sit down first. Lily filed for temporary custody, claiming I was neglecting Jenna because I worked nights and sometimes asked for help. She included the photo of Jenna crying, a note from my neighbor about a late-night stroller walk, and a short statement from a woman who said she heard Jenna wailing at odd hours. My lawyer read it twice and then asked me if there was anything else I needed to tell him. I told him every single time Lily showed up uninvited, every text where she told me I wasn't coping, every time she offered unsolicited advice like it was fact. My lawyer said we needed proof that Jenna was safe with me and that Lily had ulterior motives. The hearing was scheduled a week later. Then everything fell apart at once. My mother called and said she didn't know what to do. She loved Lily and couldn't believe she would do something like this. My dad said maybe Lily was right and maybe I was overloaded. I packed a diaper bag, grabbed my breast pump, and went to court with Jenna in a car seat. The courtroom smelled like coffee and decaf nerves. Lily sat at the plaintiff table with a folder that looked pristine. She smiled in a way that made my stomach drop. Her statement to the judge was clinical. She said I worked nights, that my schedule left Jenna alone sometimes, that she feared harm. She asked for temporary custody until a full assessment could be done. The judge heard her request and said she needed to consider the child's safety first. The judge asked me my plan and why Jenna should remain with me. My voice shook as I explained my work schedule, that my mother was a backup, that I had arranged safe childcare, that my pediatrician had never had concerns. The judge ordered temporary supervised visits for me and placed Jenna in Lily's care until social services completed a safety check. I sat in the hallway and felt my chest caving in. Jenna slept in her car seat while my phone buzzed with messages from people who used to call me a friend. My world spun. I felt stupid for not seeing the signs, guilty for trusting the person who had my back since college. Things started getting worse when social services interviewed my mother and neighbors. Lily had already told a version to anyone who would listen. She framed me as unreliable. She said she was the only one who always showed up. Then I found something else that changed everything again. My lawyer subpoenaed Lily's phone records. He wanted to see who she had been messaging, who she had called in the weeks before the petition. The records showed dozens of calls to a private investigator and a text thread with a woman named Claire, who lived 2 blocks away. Claire had written a statement about hearing unexplained cries at my apartment. My lawyer asked Claire to come in. She did. When Claire sat across from us, she looked nervous and kept glancing at Lily in the courtroom. During our meeting, Claire admitted she had been paid $50 and a pizza gift card to write the statement. She said Lily had come to her and asked if she'd help by saying she heard things late at night. Claire said she didn't know it would lead to court and that she regretted it. My lawyer put Claire on the stand the next day. Claire said she had been convinced to help and that the noises she heard were car doors and traffic, not a child in distress. The prosecutor looked at the payments and questioned their timing. Lily's face went hard. People started asking questions. Then the pediatrician's records came back. Jenna's weight, vaccinations, growth charts showed a thriving baby. The nurse practitioner who had seen Jenna monthly wrote a note saying she never observed signs of neglect and that Jenna's sleep patterns were within normal limits for an infant. Those records helped my case. But Lily had another move. She produced babysitting logs showing she had been with Jenna for extended periods and claimed I was choosing to sleep instead of care. Her logs included exact times she said she'd fed Jenna and how long she'd been left alone. I asked my lawyer to subpoena my building's concierge logs and my work badge times. We showed the judge my clock-in records and my phone GPS that proved I was at work during the nights. Lily said Jenna was unattended. The judge reviewed both sides, then ordered an independent investigator to audit all the evidence. During the investigation, something else surfaced. A neighbor's nanny cam had captured Lily taking Jenna out in the stroller at night and leaving her briefly on the stoop while she ran back inside to get something. The nanny cam footage also showed Lily carrying Jenna into her car on a Sunday and driving away. When the footage was matched to timestamps, Lily's story about calming an upset baby fell apart. Facing the footage, Lily said she had taken Jenna out for fresh air because she thought Jenna would sleep better. The investigator asked why she didn't tell me, and she had no answer. Then I found a text thread between Lily and a fertility clinic counselor. It wasn't what I expected. The counselor wasn't giving medical advice. She was a woman named Anna who had been on a mom support forum with Lily. The thread revealed months of messages where Lily said being around babies made her ache, and that sometimes she imagined having one to call her own. She wrote that she loved Jenna like a daughter already. My lawyer argued motive. He said the record suggested Lily had an emotional investment in having a child in her life, possibly pushing her to cross boundaries. At the next hearing, the investigator presented every piece of evidence. The judge listened, flipped through pages, and asked pointed questions about payments to witnesses and the nanny cam footage. The judge looked at Lily and asked why she had not told the truth. Lily's voice broke. She said she was scared and that she thought she was helping Jenna by taking her away from a chaotic schedule. The judge didn't speak for a long time. Then she ruled. She said the evidence showed manipulation and dishonest tactics by Lily to gain custody. The temporary order was overturned. Jenna was to be returned to my care immediately. I remember the moment my daughter was handed back. She slept in my arms like nothing had happened. Everyone in the courtroom watched in silence. Then someone started clapping, and I felt guilty for the relief. But the fight didn't end there. Lily filed an appeal, and we had to prepare for a drawn-out legal battle. My lawyer suggested mediation and therapy as evidence I was taking parenting seriously. I agreed. Lily's social circle fractured. Some old friends defended her and accused me of witch hunting. My parents were in therapy with us to repair damage. Then I found something else that pushed everything into the open. A months-long bank search turned up a wire transfer from Lily to Claire the week before Claire filed her statement. There were other small payments to 2 other neighbors who had testified in Lily's favor. My lawyer sent all the financials to the investigator. The investigator said it resembled witness tampering. When confronted, Lily admitted she had spent money to make people help because she was desperate. Desperate for what? The judge asked. Lily said, being part of a child's life. The court didn't buy a motive of desperation as a reason to deceive. After mediation failed, we went into a full custody trial. The trial was ugly. Depositions aired private details. My parents gave testimony about being misled. Neighbors described pressure to choose sides. Friends recounted how Lily had plotted to stage situations. My lawyer called an expert witness, a child development specialist, who testified that consistent, loving parenting was best for a baby, that temporary upheaval could harm attachment and development. He said removing a child from a primary caregiver without evidence of harm was damaging. Lily's attorney argued that she had acted out of concern and love, not malice. But then a volunteer at my daughter's mother-baby group came forward. She had kept a diary and said she'd noticed Lily's intense behavior, how Lily bragged about being Jenna's second mom, and how she kept asking about my routines. She read entries where Lily said she thought mothers who worked nights were irresponsible. The diary made the jury look at motive again. During closing arguments, my lawyer leaned over and said to the jury that this case wasn't about one mistake or one night. It was about a pattern of manipulation. He said my daughter deserved stability. The jury agreed. Custody was returned to me permanently with Lily, ordered to have supervised contact only for 6 months and then only if a therapist vouched for her boundaries. When the verdict came in, I felt hollow and relieved at the same time. Lily packed a bag that night and moved out of the city. She deleted me from social media and blocked my number. The weeks after were surreal. People who had been friends either drifted away or texted me as if nothing had happened. My parents apologized in ways that felt sincere but also late. We started family therapy and rebuilt trust slowly. Then something else happened that changed what I thought about forgiveness. Months later, I ran into Lily at a coffee shop while dropping off a donation for a baby drive. She stood in the line 2 people ahead of me. She looked smaller. I almost walked away. I didn't want to give her the chance to speak. She turned, met my eyes, and mouthed, "I'm sorry." No sound, no contact. I left the donation and went home. I realized I didn't need an apology to move on. I needed boundaries and proof that my daughter was safe. Months later, Jenna slept through the night more often and smiled at me when she woke up. My life wasn't perfect. I still checked locks twice. I still flinched when people came into the nursery. But things got calmer. I changed my locks, updated my social media privacy, and installed a camera at the front door. I also told my parents they couldn't leave Jenna alone with anyone without explicit written arrangements. They agreed. Work stayed busy, and my manager supported my schedule. I found a new balance. Lily's name faded from group chats and birthday invites. She sent a message once from a new number asking if she could see Jenna. I ignored it. My attorney told me to keep records of everything and to get a restraining order if needed. I did both. Months later, I learned something about forgiveness that wasn't tidy. I felt lighter not because Lily was gone, but because I had proofs and boundaries that protected my daughter. I still thought about how close she'd been and how wrong she could be. But Jenna was healthy, thriving, and loved. The court had exposed the truth and forced people to choose sides, then forced them to face facts. My parents stopped excusing bad behavior in the name of loyalty and started asking questions first. The family dinners were awkward for a long time, but they happened with rules. No talk about Lily, no pressure to reconcile. At one of those dinners, my dad reached across the table and said he was sorry again, but this time he meant it. I accepted it without hugging him. It felt enough. Now, a year later, Jenna took her first steps in our living room, and Lily was not there. My parents were clapping. My mom cried happy tears. I felt gratitude and a hollow ache. I told myself the ache would fade. Some nights, when Jenna slept and the house was quiet, I'd scroll back through old photos and land on one where Lily held Jenna at the shower. My chest tightened. Then I put the phone down. I still didn't know whether to call her a monster or a sad person who broke my trust. I knew one thing for sure. I would not let anyone weaponize our child again. I kept the camera footage on a backup drive and my lawyer's number on speed dial. I changed my life in small ways to protect a little person who trusted me completely. And I learned to accept help when it came in the right form. I still don't know how to feel about any of it, but at least the truth was out.